So I've been dodging the topic of hard seltzers for a while because they just aren't my drink of choice. But recently, I tried the Plop series from Drekker Brewing Company, and it opened my eyes to this unique smoothie seltzer style that's exactly what it sounds like. Easy, easy. God damn it. These boozy smoothies come in all kinds of flavors, but share characteristics like a thick body, an obvious lack of head, and as little yeast character as possible. It's like a dessert that gets you drunk, and that sounds just fine to me. Now, let's make some seltzer. For this seltzer, I'm starting with 5 gallons of reverse osmosis water, and I'm gonna build my water profile up to something like you'd find in a lager, because I want it to feel dry and super refreshing. If you don't want to mess around with water chemistry, I'd just go with some good quality spring water instead of reverse osmosis. All right, we're up to 148 Fahrenheit or 64 Celsius, and it's time to add some sugar. There are a few different kinds you can use, but in this case, I'm using 1 pound of dextrose. I'll turn off the heating element, and I can start stirring this in. The sugar has completely dissolved, so it's time for a quick 10-minute boil. As we get close to a boil, I'm connecting my counterflow chiller because 10 minutes is just enough time to make sure this thing is sanitized. And just like that, we're ready to chill this thing down and get ready for fermentation. I'm also adding a packet of proper seltzer nutrient from Omega Yeast. The last thing we need to do is transfer to the kettle, add some oxygen along the way, and then pitch the yeast. The Kvike yeast started ripping through the sugar wash right away, and on the second day, I decided it was time to add some fruit. And since this is a smoothie sour, I'm going all out with an oops all berries approach. I've got 4.4 pounds each of blueberry, blackberry, strawberry, and raspberry. That's about 4 pounds per gallon of puree, which should give this seltzer plenty of fruit flavor. Big thanks to Fierce Fruit for hooking this up. Last, to make sure it's well incorporated, I'll bubble CO2 up through the fermenter for about 5 minutes. Now, I'll just wait for the gravity to stabilize and we'll see how this thing turned out. All right, here it is. This seltzer is a vibrant pinkish red. It has absolutely no head, and you can see it has plenty of carbonation. I went for the oops all berries approach, and there is plenty of berry on the nose, plus a hint of vanilla-like yeast character. And the flavor follows suit with a lot of those same notes. It's super dry and refreshing and tastes like a solid real fruit seltzer, but I don't think I'd really call it a smoothie seltzer. To get that smoothie feel, we need to use even more fruit. And that probably means we need a lower volume of sugar wash with a higher ABV because there's only so much room in the keg. But there's a much easier way to approach this.
Today, however, he has a message for you that is important enough to cause him to break his long-established rule.
I've been dodging the topic of hard seltzers for a while.
This method of fermenting sugar wash to make hard seltzers is designed for big companies to minimize the cost of production and their tax burden. At home, if all we need is a neutral source of ethanol, the cheapest and simplest option is vodka. We can just add this to a keg and use a dilution calculator to figure out how much water and fruit puree we need to dilute it down to a reasonable ABV. In my case, I used 750 milliliters of vodka and a 60-40 mix of fruit puree and water to get to a volume of 1.5 gallons or 5.5 liters, and I estimated the ABV to be 6%. After 24 hours of carbonating, this is how it turned out. It has that awesome pink guava color and tons of fruit in suspension. Now this is exactly what I was looking for. It has a huge fruit aroma, a thick, smoothie-like body, and unlike the last one, absolutely no sign of yeast character. That proper seltzer nutrient works great, but it has a super weird flavor and aroma, and it discolors your seltzer. With the second batch, I saved some money on ingredients and eliminated 90% of the time spent creating it. I'm glad I tried it out, but I think this is the first and last time I ever ferment a seltzer. Let me know in the comments which method works best for you. Thanks again to Fierce Fruit for supplying the fruit for that first batch. My name's Dan, this is Hops and Gnarly. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you again soon.